Angielskie and I'm an English teacher. Welcome again. Today we will talk about the passive voice, which is quite problematic to some students, but not all the time. Let's see how it looks like and how we should make the sentences with the passive voice. So, an active sentence like I drank 2 cups of coffee has the subject first, the person or thing that does the verb, followed by the verb, and finally the object, the person or thing that the action happens to. So in this example, the subject is I, the verb is drunk, and the object is 2 cups of coffee. But we don't always need to make sentences this way. We might want to put the object first, or perhaps we don't want to say who did something. This can happen for lots of reasons. In this case, we can use a passive, which puts the object first. For example, 2 cups of coffee were drunk. We can add by me if we want, but it isn't necessary. So how to make the passive in English? We make the passive by putting the verb to be into whatever tense we need and then adding the past participle. For regular verbs, we make the past participle by adding ed to the infinitive. So play becomes played, and of course we know how to do it, yeah? And for different tenses, we use it like that. I make a cake is made. I am making a cake is being made. I made a cake was made. I was making a cake was being made. I have made a cake has been made. I have been making a cake has been being made. I had made a cake had been made. I will make a cake will be made. I will have made a cake will have been made. Yeah, so every time we have to remember about the verb to be. Yeah, and that's why sometimes it looks quite complicated with the verb to be plus ing, but it is correct here. Yeah. So we have verbs with 2 objects. Some verbs that have 2 objects can make 2 different active sentences, and so 2 different passive sentences too. For example, give, active, he gave me the book, or he gave the book to me. You can choose either of the 2 subjects to be the subject of the passive sentence. For example, I was given the book by him, or the book was given to me by him. And other verbs like this are ask, offer, teach, tell, lend, promise, sell, and throw. And we will try the exercise in a second. So I will also open it here. And we can also have the passive in subordinate clauses, which is the most difficult, I guess. You can make the passive in a subordinate clause that has a subject and a normal conjugated verb. This is really the same as a normal passive. So, I thought that Mary had kissed John. I thought that John had been kissed by Mary. He knew that people had built the church in 1915. He knew that the church had been built in 1915. You can also make the passive using a passive gerund or a passive infinitive in the same place as a normal gerund or infinitive. The child loves being cuddled. She would like to be promoted. We will also try it in a second. And now about the use of passive. So when should we use the passive? When we want to change the focus of the sentence. Yeah, so it's one of the emphatic structures we are talking about. The Mona Lisa was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. We are more interested in the painting than the artist in the sentence, yeah? Because you can also say, like in the active sentence, Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa. And it's also correct, but here we are more interested in the painting. When who or what causes the action is unknown or unimportant or obvious or people in general, yeah? He was arrested, obvious agent, the police, yeah? My bike has been stolen, unknown agent. The road is being repaired, unimportant agent. And the form can be obtained from the post office, people in general, yeah? We can use the passive in factual or scientific writing. The chemical is placed in a test tube and the data entered into the computer. We use it in formal writing instead of using someone, people, they. This can be used in speaking or informal writing. The brochure will be finished next month. In order to put the new information at the end of the sentence to improve style, we can also use passive voice. 3 books are used regularly in the class. The books were written by Dr. Bell. Or Dr. Bell wrote the book. Sounds clumsy, yeah? So that's why we use the books were written by Dr. Bell. And the last one, when the subject is very long. I was surprised by how well the students did in the test. It's more natural than how well the students did in the test surprised me. Yeah, so I was surprised sounds better. Okay, so let's have a look at some exercises. We will do 5 examples from 3 exercises. So let's start with the first one, in which we should change these active sentences to passive. Choose if you need the agent or not. So the government is planning a new road near my house. So a new road is being planned near my house. And nothing else is needed. Okay. My grandfather built this house in 1943, so this house was built in 1943, we can say by my grandfather, because we know he did it. Okay, Picasso was painting Guernica at that time, so Guernica was being painted at that time by Picasso. Okay, the cleaner has cleaned the office. So the office has been cleaned, and of course by cleaner, so we don't have to add it. And the last one, he had written 3 books before 1867. So 3 books had been written before 1867. Okay, so let's try to do some more exercises, some more examples on passive. And here we'll have some exercises on passive verbs with 2 objects. So let's have a look at the first 5 examples, just to repeat how to do it. So John gave a bar of chocolate to Jill, and we should start with Jill. So let's try. So Jill was given a bar of chocolate, and in brackets we can add by whom, so by John. Okay, let's check. The next one. John gave a bar of chocolate to Jill, and now we should start with a bar of chocolate. So a bar of chocolate was given to Jill, and by John again, we can put it in brackets. The next one, I lent a pencil to Graham, and we should start with Graham. So Graham was lent a pencil, and we can add by me in brackets, but it's not needed here. The next one, I lent a pencil to Graham. We should start with a pencil. So pencil was lent to Graham, and again by me in brackets, and maybe 2 more just to have both versions, both answers written. Fiona told the truth to Julian. We should start with Julian. So Julian was told the truth, and by Fiona in brackets. And the last one here, Fiona told the truth to Julian again, and we should start with the truth. So the truth was told to Julian, and again by Fiona in brackets. This is how it looks like with passive verbs with 2 objects and the 2 ways of writing the passive voice here. And the next exercise, the passive in subordinate clauses. So here we should make the subordinate clauses passive here. So again, let's have a look at the first 5 examples. So I want someone to love me. So I want to be loved. The next one. It seems that someone cleaned the office on Tuesday. So it seems that the office was cleaned on Tuesday. Yeah, on Tuesday. Okay, number 3. Amy thinks that someone is reading to her son. So Amy thinks that her son is being read to. Number 4. I don't like people seeing me in my pajamas. So I don't like being seen in my pajamas. And the last one. My little niece loves people chasing her. My little niece loves being chased. Okay, so this is how it looks like with all the passive possibilities, let's call it. Normal passive voice, passive verbs with 2 objects, and passive with subordinate clauses. So I hope you don't have any more problems with passive. If you want to practice more, of course you can do it. There are a lot of exercises on the page that I recommended to you here on perfect English grammar or any other. So enjoy your revision, stay tuned, keep on learning English, and see you next time. Bye bye.